Hi and welcome to this month's Flight Deck show. My name is Michelle Dale and you can find out more about who I am at michelledale.me. I'm currently broadcasting live from the members area of the VA Passport at passport.virtualassistant-live.com. In this show, I'll run through what's new this month in the VA Passport since our last session. I'm going to be giving you updates from my own business, virtualmissfriday.co.uk, plus I'll answer our members' questions which have come in live via the broadcast chat box and from our forums and social networks. If you'd like to join these sessions, simply log in to passport.virtualassistant-live.com and under Flight Deck, click Join the Live Broadcast. If you aren't a member yet, you can join us at www.thevapassport.com. And don't forget, if you'd like to subscribe to our upcoming shows, you can check out michelleonvimeo.me, which is our official Flight Deck channel, michelleonitunes.me, which is our podcast, and michelleonyoutube.me, which is our blogging channel. So, let's get started with the show. Hi, this is Michelle Dale for the Flight Deck show of the VA Passport. This is the show where I go through basically everything that's happened over the last month in Virtual Assistant Live and the VA Roadmap. And we also do a Q&A session when the members of the VA Passport ask me their questions and I respond. So we have people in the chat room already and we're just kind of warming up. This is just the start of the session. So, couple of things. I know that Martha can't make it tonight and she has asked me very kindly this plant in the background. She has asked me if I can take this with me to Crete because this is the last session of the Flight Deck show which we're doing in Italy because I'm moving to Crete. So Martha, I can't take the plant with me because it's not mine and anything here that you see is not mine. So sadly this is the last time you'll be seeing that plant, these books and that picture on the Flight Deck show. Hi Alison. Alison just come into the chat room, which is very nice. So yeah, apologies Martha, but I won't be taking the plant with me. So that was a little introduction into the fact that this is the last session I'll be doing in Italy. I've had a great time here. Working has been challenging actually because we haven't actually had a proper office space. I kind of just been working wherever really, but I've had a really lovely view outside the window and I've been doing a lot of work outside. I was outside on the roof garden today, which was nice. So embracing the digital nomad lifestyle here and off to Crete at the end of the month. So next Flight Deck session, you'll be seeing me not here, basically in another country. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to briefly run through the general news. We've got a couple of people in the chat room at the moment, so if you have any questions in there, do please let me know. Just throw them in as and when you want. And I've got a couple of questions on the forum that I need to answer as well, so let's get started. For those of you who haven't seen it, I've launched the VA Roadmap, which is basically now a step-by-step complete guide on how to become a successful online service provider. It takes you through from, you know, the very basics and also our little community that we've got going here through to full-on kind of, you know, coaching and consulting at the end of the line. So that's at www.thevaroadmap.com, which is basically the thing that's the glue that's gonna stick all this together. I've been working really hard, listening to your comments and feedback on everything that you've wanted from me to help you with and things. So the varoadmap.com is a result of that. I've also launched a weekly newsletter which is called eTravel Weekly, and that's at eTravelweekly.com if you want to subscribe. And basically I'll send out a weekly update to you guys also just to let you know what's going on, because we have a lot of content and things that we're doing and uploading, and you know, the different content in the VA Passport, the blog posts, that type of thing. It's all very valuable, good content for you to have around, and it's all related to online service providing. So if you want to subscribe to the weekly updates, you can do that at eTravelweekly.com. Another thing that I want to tell you about is we launched an affiliate program. So everything on the varoadmap.com will have an affiliate program with it. So if you want to recommend, this to clients and colleagues or whatever, then, I'd like to give you some money for that to say thank you. So if you go to vmflimited.com/affiliates, you can sign up for the affiliate program and see what kind of commissions you can earn as well, just from helping me promote this stuff that I'm producing for you. Another thing, Paperless Entrepreneur. I've had a lot of inquiries about this as to when it's launching. We're going for mid-April. I'm hoping to get it out between sort of the 10th and the 15th of April. It's all coming together nicely. I'm really so excited about this magazine, because it's going to be something that you can give to clients, that you can put on your website, embed on your website, give it to clients as a handout, link to it, that type of thing. And it all really, really promotes this kind of whole paperless working online kind of lifestyle. And for clients who are struggling with the concept of it, it's going to be excellent for them. So I'm certainly going to give it out to my clients and anybody who's contacting me thinking about going virtual or working with online service providers or just trying to set up a paperless environment. Because one of the difficulties that we struggle with as online service providers is trying to pull the client away from their more traditional kind of desktop environment, with paper and things like that. So this magazine is really aimed at clients who want to go with online service providers but aren't quite sure of the concepts of making it all work and how it all comes together. And it really, really promotes the online environment and the online working style. So super excited about that. And I've got a tip for you as well, which I just wanted to mention. I've had loads of inquiries this week off of Twitter. I don't know what's happened. It's gone a little bit crazy, but I've had just people DMing me, asking me about, how they can get started with me, how it works, that type of thing. So I think one thing I would really suggest to you is to have yourself like a little 140 word thing that you can give out to clients, or have something that links back to give to clients with how it works. Because for some reason I've had a lot of those come through on DM, so there might be something in the air. But if you haven't got an 140 character tweet that basically answers, I am thinking about having a VA or using a VA or getting an online service provider, how does it work? You need like one of those little short DMs that you can tweet out and get a little short URL for it. So yeah, it's been phenomenal. One of the people that contacted me had over 1 million fans on his Facebook page. So I really hope I get that one. Yes, link to your Prezi. Do you have a Prezi, Alison, on your business? That's so cool. Yeah, link to the Prezi. If you can do like a Prezi presentation, like I do with the VA roadmap and things like that, brilliant. Link to a Prezi, do a little, kind of anything, a little flip book or something like that. Just do something that's different, because I don't know if they're contacting me because it's me, but I think they're just contacting me. One guy was just like, I'm considering hiring a VA, how does this thing work? So it's really, really good to have something like that, and make sure you can squeeze it in 140 characters, because one guy did give me his email address in there. He sort of thought ahead and thought that I wouldn't be able to answer it in 140 characters, but a couple of them didn't. So no, it just saves that back and forth if you can find something that you can put in there, and just even put it on your auto DM if you want to, if you're feeling brave. But that's just something that happened to me. So hang out on Twitter a lot, certainly, because this week it's just been phenomenal. Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to update you with in the updates, but obviously we've got some more. Does anybody have any questions at this stage? I can actually flip to a question from the forums, which would be pretty cool. Let's have a look. Okay, we got a couple of questions in the forums, so I'm gonna do a little bit of back and forth here to keep, mix it up. Okay, so I need a VA. This is from a virtual assistant, Joe. Joe's with us, I think, at the moment. I need a VA and have some applicants, but how do I go about selecting the right one? In my limited available time to go through applications, I keep changing my mind about who I want, which defeats the object of getting some help. Thanks, Joe. You're still here. So if you've got any questions about my answer, just let me know. First of all, I find it very difficult to do interviews because whenever I did an interview, and I did this a lot in the early days when I started hiring for myself, I would do an interview and then I would think, oh, this person's great, you know, I'd hire them. And I would get everything all tidy, and I would say to the other candidates, you know, that the job's taken and, you know, I've already found someone. And then I would start working with them and I would feel like disappointed, or I made the wrong decision, or there was something about them that just wasn't right. So basically what I do now is I shortlist people. So I did this recently, actually. I needed to hire somebody to help me out with a specific, you know, quite highly skilled job. So basically I posted the job out and I got all the interviews and the applicants coming in, and then I sorted through all the ones that I definitely didn't want to work with. So you get rid of those. Then you shortlist it down, and then basically you can then compile it into two piles. One, like a short list of the short list, so the people that really look like they fit the bill 100%, and then people that look like they fit the bill sort of most of it. And then what I would do is I would keep those people who sort of mostly fitted the bill, I would keep them aside and I wouldn't do anything with them at the moment. And I would take one task or one small job, something not too big or anything like that, and I would give it out to all the people that fit the bill 100%. And I would say, you know, can we do this on a trial? You know, I just want to see how it goes first of all. So give them all something small to do, which you know that you will need them to do maybe on an ongoing basis, or something that you want to do weekly. Or if you really don't want to pay for them to do something small for you, put a scenario to them. So say, for example, you create a scenario like, I've got client A, he needs this, I need you to do it like this. How would you do it? How would you deliver that to me? You know, give them like a scenario where they can reply back to you. And then hopefully that might give you more of a short list, just by seeing how they respond to you, how they react, what they would do in that situation, that type of thing. So I would put the scenario in. That's a good idea. I've written that on my to-do list for tomorrow. Okay, good. Yeah, so put the scenario to them, say, you know, this is what we're doing, how would you handle it? What would you do? What are the steps that you would take? Another really good thing that I sometimes ask the newer VAs to help me out with is, before I give them a task or anything like that, I always ask them to come back to me as well, just so I know that they've understood it. So basically I would give them the task and then I would say, right, what would you do now? Now I've given this to you, because at the end of the day, it's not just a test of whether they're good enough, it's a test of your delegation skills as well. So it's kind of like a test for both of you. So just do that and see how it goes. Start with the scenario, and then once you're sure and you've shortlisted it again based on their responses, because you will kind of maybe whittle it down a little bit more, then, you know, get to maybe 2 or 3 potentials, give them something smaller, give them a task to do, and then just see how they handle it. And you know, you can say it's part of the interview process, I suppose, as well, if you do that. But that's the way personally I would do it. And I wouldn't say to the other people, you know, thanks but no thanks, until you've actually started working with that person for maybe a week or so, because I think within a week, or you know, a week to 2 weeks max, you'll know for sure whether you feel comfortable about working with that person. So that's what I would do. Next question. I'm actually a little scared that growing my company from just me to me and someone, I feel... Oh, yes, tried to hire my stepson. Didn't work. Don't worry. It's probably best not to hire family anyway. My brother is 19 years old and he's thinking about becoming a VA. So I don't know how that's going to go, but we'll see. Okay, I'm actually a little scared that growing my company from just me to someone to me and someone, I feel a bit daunted about it not working out, etc. Is this normal? Oh God, yeah, it's totally normal. And really, it was difficult. I knew I had to hire somebody in the early days, but it's difficult because you know that they're not going to do things in the way that you like to do them 100%, and that was a huge issue for me because I really was concerned about, you know, losing clients maybe because of the way that these other people were working with me. But you just have to get over it. You just have to trust in the people that you hire. It's really, really important that whoever you're hiring, you think to yourself, yeah, I can trust them. And obviously the trust is built up over time, and you have to start small and build up on it. But just do that and learn to trust each other, and you'll be fine. And at the end of the day, Joe, it's not like someone's coming in as a partner in your business. I know we all like to say that we're partnering with people in their business, but it's not a partner in the sense of, you know, financial or, you know, client-based, that type of thing. I mean, basically it's somebody who's coming in to help you with your business, and it is always your business, and you always have to keep that in mind and be at the forefront of that, and you are in control 100% of what happens. So basically, you know, it's a hirer and a hiree, and you have to keep perspective in that sense as well. And do listen to the people that you're working with. And a lot of the people I work with now on my team are more skilled than I am in various different areas. So I have to listen to them, and I have to take on board what they're going to say. But at the end of the day, it's still my business. So whatever I say kind of goes, you know, in terms of what happens. So just keep that at the forefront of your mind, and you should be fine. And also, it's really important as well to share your vision with anybody that you're hiring, no matter who they are. You know, it's important that when you hire somebody, you explain to them, you know, not like a mission statement or anything like that, but what your goal is, what your vision is for your business, how you would like to see your business developing and evolving. You need to make sure that they're going to be on the same page as you. In terms of that as well, because it is very important in any kind of relationship that, you know, you can find somebody that is going to be able to grow and sort of evolve and, you know, mold themselves around your business as well. So I think that, you know, like for example, we've got this whole sort of innovator and supporter model, as you know, and I'm very much fixated on these different types of models, and an innovator is not a good mix. So you kind of have to make sure as well that whoever you're hiring is going to fit into the slots. It might be worth going back on the VA Apprentice program that you took with me, just to review that section again, because it's really, really important. You'll definitely be coming into an innovator now, Joe. It's totally there. So I think you're going to need to look for somebody who is more in a supporter role than an innovator role themselves. Okay. Yeah, you've learnt a lesson from hiring family. I don't know what it is about working with family. I was contacted the other day by a lady who was starting up a VA company with her daughter, and they'd apparently run businesses before and things like that. I think it's incredible if you can do that. I might schedule time to rewatch it all again. We watch all the videos of the VA Apprentice. We've actually added some new ones, so I'm going to go through that soon in a minute. Okay, so does anybody have any questions at this stage in the chat room or anywhere? No? Okay. What I'm going to do, Joe, I see that you've got some more questions, and I'm just going to go through some things that have happened in the VA Passport, and then I'm going to come back to those questions. Okay, so back to the news updates for the flight deck. In the VA Passport, we've had a couple of updates. There's now a trek through Twitter basics, so if you want to get started with Twitter, there's now 21 video-based screencast lessons on getting started with Twitter. And within those lessons, there's all sorts of tips and tools that you can use to help you with your Twitter account. Things, you know, like mapping and stuff like that. Things that you wouldn't normally see or use just basically from your Twitter account. So it's well worth having a look at those 21 lessons through Twitter basics. There's a visa trip in there, and the visa trip is how to create a daily stream of people in your target market. This is something that I've been testing out since January. It's very, very effective for me, and I've done a video for you on how you can actually create your own daily stream of people coming in. The reason I shared it with you is because it has been so effective for me in generating leads and finding people to follow on Twitter and interact with. This month's PLR Pack Jet Set was 10 articles on how to work online with your virtual assistant, and I had a couple of people ask me about how they get their clients to kind of move into the cloud. A lot of them still doing kind of Outlook based stuff, Microsoft Office stuff, and this PLR Pack will really help you kind of open the mind of your clients to moving more into the clouds and moving into more online based tools, just to kind of help them get a feel for how you do simple things like sharing files and you know, collaborating on email and that type of thing. So it's a really, really good PLR pack. It's 10 articles, average article of 500 words, and you can do whatever you want with them. Okay, so that's the VA Passport. Now I'm going to move on here to some more questions. Joe has asked, I've run out of time to write blog posts. Do you know, this question, like, it couldn't have come at a better time. Tomorrow's blog post is about some people I've been interacting with on Twitter this week who had some really awesome ideas for coming up with unique ways to update your blog, and literally I consider them like cheats, cheat ways, but they were fantastic. So check out the blog post tomorrow, Joe. There's all sorts of things you know, that you could do with blogs if you just kind of think outside the box a little bit. One guy had an entire blog on basically, yeah, one guy has an entire blog where he blogged every week about his tweets, everything that he tweeted out, and it was so popular. And another person had a blog, I think it's called 7 Sentences or something like that, and he would do a blog post within 7 sentences, and obviously it's like kind of really novel and really unique to do these different things. So check it out. And I've got an idea as well about how you can create a blog around Pinterest, so that's coming out tomorrow, on the blog post tomorrow, so check that out. It's just ideas, unique things that you can do with blogging when you don't have any time and you don't need to actually come up with any content, which is quite good. And I think they could be quite popular as well. Joe says, I run out of time to do anything, including my ironing. Just get an ironing lady. Be all right. Actually, I'm so looking forward to this because when we go to Crete, I mean, we kind of rent holiday accommodation wherever we go, and this year-long rental that we've taken, this holiday accommodation, but it comes with a cleaner. I was like, yay, cleaner. I never iron. Actually, I don't really get the iron out much myself. It's awful, isn't it? But yeah, I think if I ever wanted to do ironing and cleaning now, I think I would hire someone in, because you also have to consider the ratio of how much you earn compared to how much you have to pay the ironing lady, you know. And if it takes you an hour to do the ironing, that's an hour you could be working in your VA business earning quite a bit more than it would cost you to pay someone to do the ironing. So you justify it. Okay. Okay, Alison doesn't even iron school uniforms. How do you not iron school uniforms? Do you have those non-iron clothing? You know, you can get those wrinkle-free clothes. I rented a flat 8 years ago from a woman who had an ex-husband who ditched all his clothes completely for these Marks and Spencer's wrinkle-free clothing that you never had to iron after they got divorced. Okay. Joe's cleaning friend charges £15 an hour. Okay, but you can still make more in your VA business. It's no problem. And Alison sends her children to school with creased uniforms. The creases come out from the body heat. That's my excuse. Okay, that's very cool. Okay, so moving on. I'm going to do the updates from the VA Apprentice, and then I'm going to answer another question in the forums. Okay, so the VA Apprentice, we've had some updates, which is pretty good, which is at the vaapprentice.com, which is my mothership business program, which is where I pass on my whole entire business model for Virtual Miss Friday on to you guys. So in there, we've actually added a new bonus, which is the Hello Bar, which I've been using for a long time now. So the Hello Bar is now going to be a free bonus in the VA Apprentice. And if you haven't seen it, it's at hellobar.com. And they're very effective. And I do get a lot of clicks and also sign-ups, because there's one called Hello Bar Solo, which you can actually add your subscribe box to, and it stays at the top of your website. So that for me has worked out quite well. And then there's 2 more tutorials introducing the new Facebook fan page timelines, because the old tutorial is in the old interface. So I've done basically a new guided tour of the Facebook timeline, and I've done a new guided tour of the new Twitter interface, and both of them I'm liking more. I don't know about you guys who are here in the chat room, but I actually have grown to love the new Twitter and the new Facebook timeline. The Facebook timeline has taken a lot of getting used to, because you know, you like my timeline cover? Thank you. It's just kind of one that I put together and threw up, really, because I wanted to get this timeline up, and I'll probably rethink it later. But yeah, I'm actually really liking them. The only thing I'm finding quite difficult is to navigate where everything is, because in the old timelines it used to just go, you know, in a running thing, whether somebody else was commenting or you were commenting, but you have to kind of fiddle around and look around for things at the moment. But yeah, okay, thank you. Jo said she asked Lox, she was in France skiing for the last flight deck. Oh, that's nice. You go skiing a lot, don't you, Jo? You like skiing? Do you do snowboarding as well? I've always wanted to try snowboarding. I don't think I'd be too good on skis. But with a snowboard you can sort of balance, I think, a little bit better. Not sure. You have? Oh, love to do that. Snowboarding's your favourite. Sounds pretty cool. But we can see, actually, we can see that the Italian mountains from our window, and you can see all the snow up there and things, and people go up there and they do skiing and things all year round. It's amazing, and the kids love it too. I don't know if my kids would love it. My daughter would love it, but I think my son would be a little bit rocky on his feet. He's not as adventurous as my daughter. Yeah. Oh, no, I don't think you weren't near me. We're not near the Italian Alps. But we're near Italian mountains that have skiing. Okay, we're like halfway down and to the right, more near Rome, so very close to the ferry to get to Greece. Okay, I'm gonna answer another question from the forums, and this is from Jo as well. Okay, so Jo, you started an online community, Berkshire Business Mums. If you put the link in this chat box, I'll link to it in the video if you'd like to. So you've got Berkshire Business Mums, and you've also created a mothership group called Shine Business Mums, and now you're starting up Shine Business Mums Australia. That's amazing. Okay, if you've got any links that you want me to add to this video, okay, then please post them. That's great. Okay, so Jo's going international. She's an international mum. International customers seeking Serenity service, which is your VA business, will be charged Great British pounds. How does this affect things legally? China-based mums. No, Australia. Unless there are any mums in China who'd like to join Shine Business Mums, I'll put a link on how you can get a hold of her. So, you'd like to know about, so basically, Joe, you're in the chat room. Are you going to be charging people outside in pounds? That's fine. That's, I don't think there's any implications with that. But obviously it's going to impact you in terms of your business and where your business is registered and whether you have to charge VAT and who you have to charge it to and that type of thing. So you need an accountant. Oops. I just flicked my screen there. You actually need to speak to an accountant about that, because I mean, I charge in 3 currencies, but my business is in a different jurisdiction to yours. So it really all depends on your jurisdiction. So if your business, you're based in the UK, if your business is in the UK, you're going to definitely need to speak to a UK accountant. But in terms of the currency and things like that, it doesn't matter what currency you charge in. Because, like, for example, I have a client who lives in the UK, has a business in the UK, but he only charges his customers in US dollars, but he's still liable for the same things as if he was charging in Great British pounds. So from that perspective, the currency I don't think is going to be a problem. It's where your customers are located which is going to impact the business based on where it's registered. So it's all very complex. I get so many questions about, you know, setting up businesses and the legal side of things and the accounting side of things. But really it all depends on where you are, and it's well worth seeking advice from an accountant just to be sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So just put that question to an accountant, definitely, because I think they'll be able to help you better than I can, especially with where my business is based and where I'm based temporarily, wherever I happen to be. So yeah, okay, that's it. I don't think that there is anything else that I need to update you guys on. Thanks so much for your support and for coming to these sessions. It's really, really awesome, and I've got loads of changes and updates still that need to roll out in the VA passport. It's just I'm prioritizing the paperless entrepreneur thing, and then I've got 2 new products coming out called the VA Shoestring and the VA Rockstar, which is going to be at the vashoestring.com and the varockstar.com. So basically, hopefully I would have covered all eventualities for anyone looking to become an online service provider. And I'm doing the best I can to crank these out, but I don't want to rush it too much because, you know, I want to make it quality. Okay, so guys, do we have any more questions in the forums, or no more questions in the forums? No more questions in the chat? Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap up the recording of this session. Thank you so much for joining me, and I shall look forward to seeing you on the next flight deck.